Hello ballers, my name is Bolimar and this is my commentary video for my Heatwave 5 run. I went 4-0 in polls and then made top 8 on 0 hours of sleep, which I'm pretty proud of. I played very well, and this is the team that I used. It's a bunch of attackers next to a Charlie. It was very hard to make, but that's the basic summary. Let's get into the first game. Let's see. I played a few games since then. Oh, here we go. Igor. Game 1 versus Igor. Now, I get C-Serve, which I think is good for me in this matchup. And Igor, of course, spitballing into the support, which is to be expected, but I'm happy to have a 100 HP Illu for as long as possible. Since, let's look at what Illu does against this team. So, Illugus walls this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. Everyone but Daredillo is walled by Illugus. But the thing about that is, Igor does have Daredillo on the team, which is scary enough to make this matchup probably even. That Daredillo is quite a threat. And also, once my Illugus does go down, Hopra and Castelline are particularly good at taking mind attacks, and neither is Shirley, so there's gonna always be someone to mind attack down once the Illugus goes down. But I can also obviously make progress with them before Igor kills me, so it's not that bad if Illu goes down. So my plan here is to kill the Squimmage so that, for one, the Bandy doesn't get a zigzag off, and for another, because Squimmage is very frail. Igor keeps attacking into the Charlie, trying to keep me locked down. And here I think I either get a kill or Igor switches into Waddle. Yeah. This was a bit of a misplay on Igor's part because I do get a kill off of this, and I think I win off of this alone. Igor should have switched into the Waddle, and I just capitalize off a misplay and win. Igor's adjustment in the next set is obviously to stop doing that. And it's a much closer game. And then this one's interesting. Because, well, it can't kill my Illugus if it can't kill my Illugus if I block it, and if it kills my Charlie, then whoop-de-doo. You full heal my Charlie, and I'm still in position to win. So its best play is to not kill the Charlie, chip down the Illugus, and give me another kill, basically. It's not looking good for Igor here. I should have sneak attacked. Sneak attack just does more damage. And it would kill the Daredillo. I would just sleep deprived. Oh my god. Huge, huge. Charlie lives to see another day. And I take a kill, I think. And then someone's definitely gonna die, so to avoid the surf sweep, I obviously need to switch out someone there. Or I could have shielded with Illigus, actually, and avoided the surf sweep, but Bandit was probably better. I don't want a 10 HP Illigus on the field anyway. Don't deset. Well, I guess I can't deset. But don't I wouldn't deset if I could here, because I don't need to. I guess I should probably go over what all the sets are. This thing can't stomp. This thing is locked to spitball or mid attack. Yeah, this is just an offensive Bandicraft. Almost the same as mine, but I have full focus. And then Frank is just a normal bottle set. And now, there's only one out for Igor here if he were to... There's only one out for Igor here if I were to attack into Bandicraft. If you can tell what it is from here. It was that. And now there's one out for me doing it again. Right, now's where I should have paused. There was only one out for Igor, and I saw it. Which was sidestep in front of the thing. So that wasn't particularly close, but as you can tell by the number of games we played, Igor made a really good adaptation to that, which was to not double block when the Squidward was going to die. Igor continuing to spam Spitball to the Charlie. Now this is a very, like, exploitable play that I choose not to take advantage of this game, so that next game he'll be comfortable to keep on doing it, so I can actually fully capitalize on it. You'll see later how I take advantage of spamming Spitball into the Charlie. But I choose to just play it safe in this game. Igor playing it much safer, using the Waddle instead of stacking a point with a Squimmage. It's gonna wind up paying out for him too. So I'm the one who lost the exchange there. since he had another health bar, and I didn't want to take out another health bar. And I move him for the dump, even though it's, like, not even that good of play here. But I kind of wanted to put Bandycraft in the position where it can deal damage so that Igor can't double block it later. It didn't wind up panning out very well, because both of the things on the screen wall Bandycraft. So who cares about the Bandycraft? Yeah, I just deset anyway. I just took a bunch of damage for no reason. I do get a kill though. Questionable if that was even good for me, because I'm stressed now. I do feel like I made quite a few misplays here because I was sleep deprived, but I did make the adjustment that I needed to win the set later. So, okay, that might have looked like a pretty bad play, and it might have been, I don't know, but the thing that I was probably looking for was if I sack a point with Bandycraft here, I get my hopper wakes back up when it wouldn't have woken up if I just tanked a burnout, right? So I would have had to like switch into Charlie, click chant, do nothing basically. But now I don't have to do that. Now I can make some actual progress because I don't have to chant away the sleep. But it was at the cost of a point, and I guess we already know what happens after. This isn't that bad of a situation for me, though. I think I lose on a read. Since Hopper does a lot against this team in this position with how little HP that they have. I just gotta refresh on how much Zigzag does. Yep. If I target the Bandycraft, I die here. Yeah, I could have killed it, but I went for Tornado Ball instead for some reason. Probably a good reason, I just don't remember why I did that. High Spirits range. Do I deset here? Nope. I don't deset because I can shield next turn. But that winds up not panning out for me because of something I probably didn't see. It was the quick tag provoke into killing me. Yeah. Even if I did see that though, that wasn't very easy to come back from since I Tornado Balled into the Bongus. But I did glean something very important about Igor's game plan that I abused very well in the next game. In a way that Igor didn't really have a chance of coming back from. So let's watch what I do next. Spitball into the Charlie. You're going to find in this game, you're going to see that this is a very bad idea if you do it too much. Let's roll the clip. And a large part of why I played it so safe in the early game of last one was to reinforce the idea that attacking into my Charlie is a good idea that will win you the game. Because it isn't. It isn't in the best of 3 setting where I can just punish you for doing that in the next game. Keeps doing it. And here I go for the scrimmage. And at this point I smell blood. And if you can tell why, you're probably as good at the game as I am. Because this is probably one of the best plays I made in Beastieball. Or rather, yeah. So what is... Okay, let me mouse over everything. What is the best case scenario for me here? What is the best thing that can happen to me that will result in me winning the game on the spot, basically? And I'll mouse over the important one. The best thing that can happen right now is the Charlie dies. If the Charlie dies here, I pretty much win the game on the spot. So, I really want him to attack the Charlie. I really want him to keep attacking the Charlie because now, after what I just did over the last 2 turns, it would be a bad idea to do that. And then I blocked the scrimmage, presumably because I thought he might stop attacking the Charlie. But now I don't try and attack the thing coming in for scrimmage. I tried to attack the Bandicraft, because I think he's going to double block here. And I don't want to kill the scrimmage. So now I am begging Igor, without non-verbally begging Igor to kill the Charlie because I will win if he kills the Charlie. And he does, which was a big mistake because now I can switch into Bandicraft and just have the best case scenario happen for me. So what could Igor do here about Dump? Right? What can Igor do here? The answer is not really anything. His best bet is to walk forward with the Bandicraft to potentially heal it for later and just die to Dump and then tag into something that can make progress against me. Because I don't want to actually kill either of the things on the screen here. No-hit scoring is good for me because both of these things are just dead to any hit, and I want them to go to the bench because this thing is basically dead in 2 hits too. The only thing that can make any progress on Igor's board right now is this Daredillo that doesn't have shield, so I can just hit it 2 times and win the game. Because, yeah, everything else is just dead or doesn't do anything to me. So I would love a no-hit score here, which Igor gives to me. Igor should have, to salvage the situation, he should have walked up with the Bandicraft, but he didn't do that. So now I pretty much win for sure. Even if I play wrong. It's just not really possible for Igor to make up the difference here, because the only thing on his board that can really do anything to me is that Daredillo, who's gonna die in 2 hits. And now the best play for Igor would be to tag in that Bandicraft and kill it. The sooner that he can kill that Bandicraft, the better, because he doesn't really have the HP to survive if he doesn't do that. So Igor continues to kick the can down the road. And at this point, it wouldn't even matter if the Bandicraft tags in. I think Igor just loses. Look, that's the last time Igor's gonna get any meaningful damage off, because that Daredevil is not coming back in. And Igor makes the correct play a little bit too late. Igor sacks the Bandicraft. Casterly gets trolled. 1 HP off of full focus, or power up. But it's still enough to win. And just a turn too late, the Bandicraft recovers. And if it recovered a little bit earlier, it might have been able to salvage the game. But, no. Casterly was just in position to kill everything on the screen. So that was pretty good on Igor, adapting in that second game. But it was also pretty good on me for adapting to him in the third game. So up next is, I wouldn't say nearly as close of a game. It's just a team that this is against Web Bowser, who brought a team that is like almost entirely hard countered by Iligus. So the big thing is, this is a very like greedy hyper offense redirection spam team. But the thing is, if I bring anti-redirection, Web Bowser just has the most passive Tord set I've ever seen, and doesn't really do anything if I just attack into the other guy for the entire game. And we're gonna see that pan out here. I'm probably not gonna comment on anything here because this is just a really good matchup for me. Oh yeah, another thing. This Cast League has Launcher, which just makes it extremely easy for me to, you know, play in a way that guarantees me to win, right? It makes it very easy to find lines that just stomp on the Riplash. And Riplash is Web Bowser's strongest attacker, so that's a big deal. Probably should have shielded since it's launcher. Now that may have looked close, but it realistically wasn't really... There wasn't really much he could do to salvage the game from there. Even though I misplayed at some points. And it's more of the same in this matchup, in this game. The funny thing about this is, notice how I just tank the Riplash here if they stay in and click shield. With my own shield. Here I'm just down to let the Hopper die, but I believe Web Bowser has different plans for me and decides to spitball into the Illigus for some reason. There's no universe where I tag out the Hopper here, I think. Just because it's good if I let it die, and it's doing nothing on the bench if I don't let it die. Although now I don't need my entire bench to kill... I'm up 2-0. So I can tag out the Hopper if it would help me get a score. I think I do wind up tagging out the Hopper here. But even then, I'm not sure why Web Bowser targeted the Illigus, because spitball into the Hopper slot hurts my turn more than spitball into the Illigus, because now I can dispel cheer, sneak attack, and I have shield for the 22 HP anyway. I wonder if I sack here or if I go into the cast lead for the guaranteed win. I probably sack, right? Actually, no. I see a win here. I just tag into Bandycraft in the other slot, and then I get a dump off while the Whiplash goes down. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Just tag in Bandycraft in the Cheerly slot. Because that's a guaranteed win with Launcher. Yep. Because now they need to tag out Whiplash because it's dead. What that means they can't walk up and get dumped. Unless they go into something that loses the game anyway, which is Noizard tag in the Whiplash slot. Yeah, no way Web Bowser wins the game from here, so... Especially since they need to volley attack to avoid free balling. That was just a good matchup. Not much to say. I was gonna win, like every time, because I just had a good matchup. Next up is a closer one. This is against GFCA, and GFCA's Quake Spam team is probably the worst case scenario for my team if I let him have his way. Because Quake just rips a team like mine to shreds. It's just the fastest way to kill me. Because you put multiple things at once into kill range when you spam Quake against a team that volleys a lot like mine. So it's important for me to protect the Cheerly. I think I'm making some interesting adaptations to make sure I wind up doing that when I lose one of the games. But this game sets a stage for GFCA that I'm in the driver's seat in this matchup. He needs to play by my rules if he wants to, you know, beat me. And he's not playing by my rules in this game, so I wind up beating him pretty handily. So I'm prioritizing my Cheerilee's health over, you know, dealing damage with Cheer. Because, the Cheerilee is holding it all together in this matchup. When that Cheerilee goes down, I just die, right? So that's why I'm chanting the Cheerilee a lot, instead of cheering. Now I just see a kill. It's just easy from here. It's kind of hard for GFCA to win from here, but I want to hammer home that it's still possible. He can still he can beat this team extremely quickly, just like I can beat his team extremely quickly. Now they gotta deal with dump or die. And they choose death. Shoutouts to Beastieball. I think Beastieball has scored a lot more than, like, Hopper, right? Beastieball's scored a lot so far this tournament. And there was a game after this, like, you would think, oh, that was so clean, that was so easy, that was so fast. GFCA just is an easy matchup because their team is just way too slow, right? No, no. Not even close. GFCA destroys me in this game. I think largely because I forgo protecting my Cheerilee because I see a kill here. Like, that Cheerilee doesn't have to be at 50 HP, but I make it go to 50 HP because I see a kill. And that winds up losing the game for me, I think. It's like, yeah, I got a kill here, but at what cost? My Cheerilee's almost dead, and so is my Illigus. And my Illigus is going to the bench, unfortunately. I don't know what I was doing there. That feels like a misplay to me. I should have stuck in with Illigus. And I missed chant on the Cheerilee. Oh my god. Okay, that was an abysmal play. That was an abysmal series of plays. I get the kill though. Point lead. But yeah, make sure you sleep before playing in a tournament, or else that happens to you. You know it's bad when you descend and do 60. Oh boy. And I'm dead. I lose the game here. I can't win. I can't win from here. GG. There's not even anything I can do. So that's what happens when GFCA gets their way against me. I just lose. And that is hilarious. I need to, in the next game I need to stop whatever the fuck happened there from happening. And I do that. I win, but we'll see how that happens. Yep, and I just lose guaranteed here. GG. That's Quake for you. This is how Quake destroys HO. Just, with extreme prejudice, I guess. But I make a pretty good adaptation in the next game, and I think you'll... I think it might... Oh, wait. Oops. Clicked on the wrong one. No winners. This one. This is the game. And I think I make a pretty good adaptation. So, okay, there's two main things that can be gleaned from the last two games. The first is I need to protect the Chairlay at all costs, because this thing is why I'm not dying immediately to GFZA's bullshit, okay? And the other thing is, the longer the turns go on, the harder it gets for me to win, because I have a lot of power to start out the game with. I have like this OP dump that 2 KOs their entire team, like Jesus Christ, right? My first turn is very good. The turns afterwards, the game goes like, shifts more and more in GFZA's favor. So the idea that I need to, and also a 13th thing, GFZA can just win from any position. The scores don't matter. The points don't matter. He can be 0 and then get 3 points immediately. Who cares? It doesn't matter who scores and when they score. GFZA can just win the game immediately because his win condition is not scoring 3 times. His win condition is whittling down my bench. So, the game plan here for me is to get as much value out of each score as I can. I need to let GFZA score 2 times if I need to, if it'll get value, and I need to like liberally let him score, because the first score, the turn after someone scores, it's in my favor. Every other turn, it's in GFZA's favor. So I need to win quickly, and I need to use every point to my advantage. So let's see how I play. I got the OP dump off. The shit's broken. Just 2 KO the whole team. I want that as much as possible. I want to get as many of those off as I can. So what do I do? How do I get that? What I do is I stack up. And if GFCA does a lazy provoke spitball turn, so be it. I win the game, and I do win the game off of this. But I think this was a good play, even if GFCA targeted the Illigus, right? Or if GFCA provoked the Chairlay. Since just letting him score is really good for me here. Since his scores don't matter. His points don't matter. My HP matters, not his points. And I think GFCA has some trouble adapting to my game plan here, since I, dramatically changed my own game plan. So GFCA makes a lot of mistakes that just cut the game short, basically. I pretty much went off of that read because GFCA started playing worse. Yeah, it was just a clean win off of after the spitball read. If you can even call the read, because I felt like that was the correct play, even if GFCA didn't do that. So next up, and that was very well played by GFCA, by the way. That was very scary for me. I needed to adapt quick after that second game. Because GFCA, you saw, destroyed me in the second game. After I destroyed him in the first game. Up next is Phoenix with something of a mirror match. They have a Bandicraft offense team. I have a Bandicraft offense team. The thing about that is my Bandicraft offense team is probably the most well-balanced one in the game. So it's going to be an uphill battle for any other Bandicraft offense team. And it was a pretty uphill battle for Phoenix. Castle just has good defenses against 2 of the 3 attackers, and I just leverage that as much as I can and get a 2-0. And it's a good team, but I think mine is better. And I pilot it well. See this thing full focus? Oh no, it's Captain. No problem with me getting it low. Do I sidestep though? No, I would never. I would never. I want that thing dead, you know? I want that Shirley dead anyway. Oh, and that's a 24 HP Bandicraft on the bench. That's not great. That's not great for Phoenix. Phoenix might have wanted it to die. I'm kind of curious. I forgot what sets these are. Hello? Thanks. Smack. Okay, no one has shield. Okay, so it's just just a slugfest. That's a good play if the game lasts long enough for that Bandicraft to have the field again. Since we're only 1-1, I think I agree with it from Phoenix. Although I think Phoenix should have sacked the Bandicraft earlier. I don't think the Bandicraft should have left the field. I deliberately go for the thing that doesn't die here because I don't want something to die here. I want I want something in the I want a surf sweep here. I want both things dead to launch after this turn so that I win. And I also want to catch the Torch Pass. Pretty big deal. Huh, that was a kill if Charlie was out. Wonder if I needed to tag out Charlie. Because if I didn't, then that was just a guaranteed win, right? Ash Bloom is dead to Ancient. Yeah, fat chance I'm not gonna shield there. Since, the shield covers me if the Charlie dies anyway. And I think next game is more of the same. I don't think it was close either. Wonder if I should have tagged into Gaslight there. Whatever. Wait, let me see the damage. Bring the Heat would have... Okay, no, I definitely should have tagged into... That is such a strong Bring the Heat, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I should have tagged in Hopro. I love the block button. Such a strong serve, man. Super commit. And here, okay, here, if Phoenix decides to walk up, they gotta deal with the sleepy Riplash on the field, so it's basically free dump. Because they make no progress if they walk up and take it, and they make progress if they don't walk up and take it. Either way, it's a free point. Now I have 100 HP Bandicrat, 53 HP Ilgus who can shield or block. It's not looking good for Phoenix. I may have missed the shield, but on the bright side, I do get a decent max power dump. I'm not sure if they have a switch in. They do. But I do have a switch into this, too, I think. Rare game where the Torch Pass max HP reduction actually matters. Exactly dead. Not exactly. But anyway, that put me into top 8. I went undefeated in pools, and now I'm fighting Arctech in top 8. Now, I am exhausted at this point. Yeah, I'm like ready to lose the tournament because I already made top 8 and I'd be happy to lose at this point, but I do still try. And I do get in a position to win, but unfortunately I failed to close it out. But it's still a good game on the first one. Classic Mantis. This hopper just has every status effect on it right now. Thankfully, I have chance for that. Oh my god. Oh my god. So the idea here is I'm trying to chip down all of Arctech's guys so that I can eventually surf sweep. I do think I do a pretty good job of setting that up. Like, this is, I think, a pretty advantageous position for me because Arctech's board just is not healthy. I'm not sure why I don't deset here, because I'm definitely tagging into the Cheerilee. I should have desetted. Like, there was no actual reason not to deset here, because I was going into Cheerilee anyway. But again, this is why you don't. This is why you sleep before tournaments. It's still a really powerful cast sleep, though. Okay, this is very important. Because, Arctech kind of has no switch-ins here, right? Just no good ones. Because even though Arctech is up 2-0, I am in position to get something going, right? And let's see. Yeah, nearly in Surf Sweep territory, but not quite. So I need a Tornado Ball. And this is a really good position for me. I win after another D set territory. And okay, that is where I was, right? I was in I win after our D set territory. Here's the problem. I thought that the contest numbers weren't at the net. I thought that this thing would do 71 if it Steel Nettle contested me, and that's why I switch out Castle here. But if I tag in Bandicraft here, look at what D-Set does. I actually just win the game if I just tag in Bandicraft here. But you know what I do? I look at this contest number, don't internalize that it's a net only move, so it's gonna show different calcs. And look at what I do. I just throw the game. I just straight up throw the game. That's fun. That is awesome. But that was a guaranteed win for me if I didn't do that. Because yeah, D-set Thump just kills the Waddle even if it tags in. Again, that's why you sleep before playing in a tournament, I guess. So that was a very close game, even without that throw. That point, I am exhausted. I just want to go to bed. But Arctech is playing to win. Does this live? Nope. Barely killed. At least that thing's tripped, though. And it's just really hard to win from here after that, when I'm free ball serving from there. Did I get the 50-50? Wait, what's that 50-50? Anyway, yeah, I kill it. Then this is closer than I thought it would be, than I remember it being. But it's still pretty bad for me. Huh, walk up, deep breath, free ball. How does this go? Okay. Super commit kind of kills me here, right? This seems like a difficult turn. I wouldn't really be able to work out on the spot. So I tornado ball, yeah. But that Illigus is looking pretty low, right? I don't have very good recollection of this game. I was really tired. And then my bunch is so low, I don't really have a chance here if I don't sidestep, right? Okay, but that Bandy's alive. I think this is a guaranteed win, right? Nettle into, yeah, exact spitball kill. There isn't anything I can do about that. Yeah, that was pretty rough. But I am happy with how I did in this tournament. I felt like I would play very poorly, but I did make a lot of good plays. I obviously misplayed a lot too, since I was tired, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I did in that heat wave. It was a pretty good team, and I played my team pretty well. And I lost to the second ranked player, so yeah, can't be too bummed about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my games and found them insightful. That's the last of them, so I'm gonna end the video now. Peace.